Welcome to Forge Epidemic. Today we're going to be covering
Dominion.
And now we're going to be taking a closer look at this game type. So, I'm Oakley Highdef, stay tuned. Basically what I've done here is I've laid out a bunch of the Dominion specific objects in Forge, and we're going to go ahead and analyze them, see what the effects are, see what the labels do when you take over a base. So essentially when you're taking over a base in Dominion, there are going to be two phases, the capture and then when the base fortifies. So different objects will have different effects based off the labels, so you know based on what you call them. Some of them will appear in the capture phase, and then others will appear in the fortify phase. So first a base is captured, then it's fortified. I'll go ahead and show you basically how this works with all the different objects here. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to begin with turrets. So you can put turrets on your map. The one on the left is labeled Dominion Fortify, the one on the right is labeled Dominion Turret. So the one on the left that's labeled Dominion Fortify, basically what this does is once you capture a base, it's going to appear essentially as your team. So here you can see it's neutral, and the second I capture a base, right there you can see it turns blue, or whatever team you are when you capture it. So that's very important. So the second you turn on a base, it'll immediately, turrets will become available. Now an important thing to note is these turrets are not activated yet. You have to go activate them remotely. The one on the right is labeled Dominion Turret. So the difference with this one is the second the base goes into fortify phase, the turret on the right will be automatically spawned and built. So this is a big difference. The one on the left will spawn and be on your team. You still have to activate it. The one on the right will spawn immediately come the fortify phase and be ready to shoot. So these are two unique differences that are important to note when you're setting up your Dominion game type. Now over here we're going to be looking at these base stripes. So the one on the top right there is labeled as a Dominion decoration. So the second you capture base, it's going to spawn, extend like that, and be red or blue depending on what team you are. The one in the middle has no effect, it's named Dominion Upgrade, and the one on the bottom is Dominion Fortify. So as you can see, you can have two different phases appear right there. Now these are the barricades. So when you capture a base, that one in the back right there will be activated. And what we name that one is Dominion Decoration, or Dominion Decor. The other ones will only appear in the second phase of base fortifying because they're named base or Dominion Fortify. So what that allows you to do is have, right when you capture the base, that object in the top left will be able to spawn early, and then once the base is fully fortified, then additional defenses will go up. So it's kind of a staggered defense. And the one that's laying low is just labeled Dominion Upgrade, so that had no effect. So here you can see the defenses being deployed. It's pretty cool. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And this is essentially going to be the base monitors on the left, and then monitor 4 foots on the right. And these are given different labels. So the ones in the front row are Dominion Big Screen, the ones in the back row are Dominion Screen. So these will all appear once you capture a base, and they'll have different indicators on them. So the ones labeled Dominion Big Screen has additional information on the general information of your base. You can see it has the countdown. The ones in the back labeled Dominion Screen do have the same fortifying emblem but don't have the countdown, so that's a small difference that you'll see. And again, these will appear right as you're capturing your base. When you fortify, it'll give you a check mark saying you're fortified, but nothing else will appear. And then the one on the bottom, the Dominion Big Screen, will continue updating you on your base. The one in the back won't. Now over here, these are turret monitors. So the ones in the back are labeled Dominion Big Screens, and the ones in the front are Dominion Screens. So what you can see is right when you capture base initially, the ones labeled Dominion Big Screen will be activated, and then the ones in the front labeled Dominion Screen will only be activated when you fortify your base. So again, this is another example of a staggered effect of your base capturing. So this is something you might want to implement if you want the turret details to be up earlier, or if you want them to be up later. Another interesting thing to note is that once you're fortified, both will be active, but the ones in the back, I notice, will have this weird warning sign on them. So that's something that I took note of, and in the description here, in the future once we figure something out, we'll put details on the screen. Over here, these are some antennas. So the ones that are deploying right now are labeled Dominion Decor. So these will start unfolding the second you capture your base. The ones to the left of that, essentially in the middle, are labeled Dominion Fortify, and those will appear once your base is fortifying. Then the one all the way on the left is labeled Dominion Upgrade, and again that has no effect. So this is once again an example of how you can stagger when objects will appear. So it seems that anytime you label something Dominion Decor, it'll appear just as you capture your base. So that's something to note. That's pretty cool. And then the Fortify will essentially make things deploy in the fortification phase of capturing a base. Now I know this might all be confusing, so I would go ahead and watch the video again and take mind of the different text I've made up here. Now over here, the objects in the back were labeled with Dominion Upgrade, again no effect, and the ones in the front were Dominion Decor. So what Decor will do is it'll change the color of an object based off who captures it. So that's an additional way to make your base have, you know, more of the appearance of one team. So Decor essentially will deploy some things, and it'll also give objects colors, and that'll happen in the base capture phase. Then over here, this is going to be the Dominion VPad labeled appropriately, and that'll appear later in the Fortify phase. Then over here, you can have some shield doors appear in the Fortify phase, and these will be labeled Dominion Shield. So thanks guys, hope this clarified some things. In the blank space right here, I'll put up any additional information or links that we come up with in the future. So otherwise, yeah, see you guys. Stay tuned for more. Peace out.